Hello, hello, hello. This is Terry Coaxum of the Coaxum Report. And all of you that are tuning in, you can catch us at Amazon Fire TV, Android TV on Roku, and you can also catch us on OurTV.network. I encourage you to download the app. I am super excited to be joined by Dr. Hazel Duke, who we affectionately call Mama Duke. Former NAACP, always NAACP. She knows when I see her, I see all of the activism and everything that she has ever done. And first, I want to personally just thank you, Mama Dukes, for always being there for all of us in the community, especially as we are coming into the politics, we're coming into voting, when we're coming into activism. You're always the first person that we call because you've always been very forthcoming with any information to make sure that we are empowered and encouraged to do the work that you are doing and continue to do. So hello, hello, hello.
Good to hear you. You and nice to see you again.
Good to hear you and see you again as well. Mama Dukes, I wanted you to come on a Coaxum Report today because we are in a historic election time. And you have done so much. You're a prominent civil rights leader. And like I said, my forever president for NAACP, voting rights and representation, social justice and equity, community empowerment. You've done it all and you continue to do it all. So I want to talk a little bit today about why is this election, why is it important? Why is making sure that our rights are being protected? Why is it important? Voter rights, representation, empowerment. I mean, and you can start with any of these because you know.
Let me just say to you, this is such a historical moment. But if you remember, while we are excited about the present, we should let our young people know, especially our young adults, those 18 to 50 years of age who have not lived through other historical moments. When you think about Shirley Chisholm,
yes,
that was, and people don't put in context where we are today. If Shirley Chisholm had never stepped on a stage,
that's right.
Jesse Jackson would have never stepped on the stage.
That's right.
If Jesse Jackson had not stepped on the stage, Reverend Al Sharpton would not have stepped on the stage. Right. If Sharpton had not stepped on the stage, Barack Obama would not have stepped on the stage.
That's right.
And so we have to look at our history and give credit and always remember those who have gone before us. Absolutely. That have paved the way for us to get to this present moment.
That's right.
I believe that from the time that Shirley, you think about Geraldine Ferrara, you think about Hillary Clinton, all of this happened because of an African-American woman, Shirley Chisholm.
That's right.
I was there with Percy Sutton, the late Mary Pickett, and the late
Mary.
Helen Marshall. Yes. We were delegates at that time in Miami, Florida. Mr. Sutton had taken us out for lunch. And when we came back, we passed by Shirley Chisholm Green Room. And an aide was sitting outside. And Mr. Sutton said good evening to her. And how was Mrs. Chisholm? And she said, well, Mrs. Chisholm is here, but not doing so well. He said, oh, can I go in and see the lady? And the aide said yes. And he went in and spoke to Mrs. Chisholm. And he came back out with Mary Pickett, the Helen Marshall. Mary Pickett was the first African-American woman to be elected to New York City Council. Helen Marshall was not only in the city council, she was an assemblywoman and then went on to be the borough president of Queens County. So there's history to know why we are here with Vice President Harris and her choice for her vice president, who we didn't know, had not heard about him as much as other people named that have been floating for her. So, but in context, we must remember how we got to this point today.
That's right. That's right.
It's
And
been a long journey. It's been
that's
a
right.
long journey. And
That's
in this journey, there has been women
right. Hmm.
that have paved the way. If you know why there is so many African Americans and other minorities at the Democratic Convention, it was because Fannie Lou Hamer from
Wow.
Mississippi went to the Democratic National Convention and
Yes.
turned it upside down. And it's never been the same.
And it never will be.
Never will be the same. And so that's why we're here today celebrating Vice President Harris and
That's
her uh, person she have chose to be the running mate.
that's
And
right.
then the other thing, that it's not so much about the party, it is about the policy
Ah,
that
yes.
affect our life, that affect our children and our children's children. When
That's
you
right.
look at Project 25, that
Hmm.
Trump is trying to run away from now, but
Hmm.
he and the Heritage, they just didn't start this yesterday.
That's right.
They've been working on this for years,
That's right. That's
but
right.
we caught them with their pants down.
That's right. 900
They
page
didn't
document,
think.
Mama. 900 pages. Yep. I
That's
had
right.
Lori Favors. She is
Sure.
Lawrence suggested she was on last show talking about
Right.
law and talking about the plan and what we needed to do to make sure that we're staying engaged and that we are on top of this, because if we're not at the table, we're going to be on the menu. And
Well,
that's
last night we had over 1,000 people on the NAACP webinar, breaking it down
that's right.
from education to health to
Mhm.
economic development, all the points we can go out and talk our tools that we can use so our community will understand. We have to educate, we have to mobilize, we have to implement our strategy and not fall into where Trump wants us to go. If he
That's right.
can't pronounce Vice President Harris' name, that's on him. He's ignorant. We don't have time to debate
That's
how
right.
he is pronouncing her name.
That's
That's
right.
not
We
the
got real
issue
work.
for us.
We got real
That's
work.
right.
We got real
Real
work.
work
And
is
so
that
those
we're
of you
not
that
gonna allow
joined us,
you, we're not gonna allow you and your group to
that's right.
implement Project 25. We're not gonna allow you back in the White House.
That's right. And that's why we're out here. That's why we're strong. That's why I brought you on today. For those that just joined in, this is Dr. Hazel Duke. She is a walking history book. She just took us down history's lane with Shirley. We're talking about Shirley Chisholm and Helen Marshall and Mary Pinkett and Mr. Sutton and all that they did to get us to where we are right now today. And I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank you for always leading the charge. The NAACP on that line yesterday were able to really empower individuals with the messaging that they need to go on the streets and talk to people that may not be able to get on one of those NAACP calls, don't even know that call exists, but they know somebody who does. And so that's why it's really important for us to have this conversation today about education, about healthcare, about technology. One thing that COVID did, it put a black eye on our community when we saw how many of our young people had no access to broadband. So folks were stepping up saying, we're going to give you a computer. It was like a paperweight. They couldn't access the internet, so they still couldn't get the education
That's
that they
right.
are entitled to because they couldn't get the service that they needed. And so this is what we're saying. 2025 will not stand. This plan will not stand. We are here. We're encouraged. We're empowered. But more importantly, we're armed with the knowledge, skills, and ability to be able to take this thing forward. And that's why I'm asking, I'm like, please get on the call. Tell everybody in the sound of our voice. And I don't know if you noticed, Mama, but my show, the show Coaxum Report, it's not just national, it's international. So don't be surprised if your friends call you and tell you that they see you on their show in St. Kitts or they see you in St. Thomas somewhere. Well, we're in St. Thomas and they see you in Trinidad or in Africa, because this show is all over. And I needed you to come on. I got my notes out. I got my pen, just like always. I'm sitting under your feet. because I need people to understand the importance of why it's important to vote, why it's important to have representation to look like you, why it's important to be on top of things like this 2025 plan, why education and healthcare and all of this is connected to the federal government. And that's why you should vote every single time. There is no reason for anybody to stay home, no matter what you feel. We are not, like you said, it ain't about your politics. It's about your policy. And
Absolutely.
That's really important
Right.
for us to be here today.
Absolutely.
So I want you to share also, I know it's important for us to get out and do this. It's important for us to get into all of the states that we need to make sure that individuals are empowered with the knowledge, skills, and ability. You have been doing this a long time. You've been getting on buses, you've been getting on webinars, you've been getting on flights. You've been making sure that everybody is encouraged and inspired and armed with the knowledge, skills, and ability. Tell us how we continue to do that now with everything going on. All the noise. There's a lot of noise in the background.
Absolutely. But we should not fall for the noise. That's the distraction.
That's right.
I love it when Joanne Reed talks about we cannot let the noise distract us.
That's right.
And that's why I'm saying to young people, listen, there's a history to
That's right.
where we are today. And those persons that we should honor them by continuing their legacy.
Absolutely.
Be a race of people that is proud of who we are.
That's
And
right.
those who have gone before us. And so when you sit home, you are saying to Shirley Chisholm, to Mega Evers, to these people who gave their life for us to be at this point today, that you don't care about their sacrifice they made. And I am sure that we educate our young people, we tell them the truth, tell them how great we are, how we have made America what she is today, and will continue to make her honor just not us, but all Americans
That's
that
right.
come into this great country of ours. If
That's right.
we take that message and encourage them to participate in the process that their children will benefit from, like you and I have.
That's
We've been
right.
able to go to college. We've been able to get PhDs. We've been able to walk through doors that your parents, that your grandparents never dreamed that we would walk through them today. You have served in the Capitol. You've served for the highest ranking senator. Uh,
Mhm.
your parents never dreamed that that would happen, but
No,
they worked and participated
that's right.
in activities to make sure when opportunities came, you were prepared for it,
That's
to
right.
walk in the door. And that's what we are doing now. We are not asking anyone to give us anything. We've earned everything that we have. Not
Absolutely.
only
And
for us,
for
not
everybody.
only for us, as I said, we was there with Geraldine Ferrara.
That's
Okay,
right.
we was there for Hillary Clinton. Now we are there for Vice President Harris
That's right.
because she earned. Nobody giving her anything. She's not a affirmative action child.
That's right.
She went to a black HUBC, Howard, where many great minds have come out and
Right. And
served today.
let's make no bones. There is nothing wrong with being an affirmative action child
Absolutely,
because we
that's right.
earned that
But
too.
but
Yeah,
I'm saying she's
absolutely.
not.
She
She's
isn't.
more
Nope.
prepared. She's more prepared than the two white men that's on the other side.
That's right. That's right.
Okay,
That's right. And she has the
right?
knowledge, skills, and ability and the experience. And
Absolutely.
she has a network, and we're going to continue to hold strong to that. So one of the things that you said, I want to go back to that because I think it's really important. Meeting people where they're at, meeting the young people where they're at, getting to where they are and explaining to them, listen, this impacts you. Every single thing from the street outside to the street light outside is everything to do with quote unquote politics and government. And so
Right.
if you are not involved, you're not going to be able to afford tuition. You're not going to be able to afford housing. You're not going to get the health coverage that you deserve. So you must be involved, because if you're not at the table, you're definitely going to be on the menu. It's not that you're not making
Absolutely.
decisions. People are making decisions for you. You're just not making those
Absolutely.
decisions yourself. And that's why it's so important what you guys are doing at the NAACP. You always meet people where they're at. Even when I came here, and I make people laugh, I tell them I came from South Carolina. I had an outhouse when I was growing up, and I came to work for the first Black president of the United States in the White House. And I tell it, like you said, it was because of the opportunities that were afforded to me by my family member who understood the importance of education. Education was pushed in my house. It wasn't if you going to college, it was which
Yeah.
college will you be attending.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so when opportunities came, you
That's
was
right.
prepared to walk into those doors. You was prepared to move up higher, to
That's right.
move forward in life. And that's what we are saying today. We're not telling people what they love or what they want, but be prepared.
Be prepared.
And you can walk into any door that
And not
is
only that,
open.
your network is your net worth. And that's one
Absolutely.
thing that I can say, Dr. Dukes, is when I was working for Senator Schumer, even when I was working for DA Hines, and I needed to reach out on certain issues of empowerment and representation and registration, I reached out to you because you were a part of my network, which was my
Right.
net worth. I was able
Oh,
to reach out to the mayor and the governors because they are part of my network. And I'm telling young people, I said, I know you don't want to do an internship, especially an unpaid internship, but I can tell you without fair contradiction, that experience and that network that opens up as a result of it will give you more than a dollar can at this time. And
absolutely.
I keep them coming in, and I introduce them as they go along to individuals that can empower and encourage them, and they become a
Absolutely.
part of their network as well. That's why I'm working at, when you said Mega Evans, I'm smiling because I teach at Mega Evans College, and
Right.
young people, oh, I love them. They are so on fire. A lot of them, Dr. Dukes, are still first generation, and they are
Absolutely.
here and they are ready and they
I
have this
don't know. I
idea.
don't know whether you know that we have reactivated the college chapter there,
Oh
and the young
yes,
people and the
yes,
young
that's
people was
awesome.
at. They were in Las Vegas with the president of
Really?
the college. Yes,
Wow.
yes,
That's
they were
amazing.
there
That
learning. The president was there with them.
oh
They've been down to Mississippi. They were
that's
there for the opening of the Mega Evers home that the national parks have taken over. I am just so proud
oh my
of
God.
those young people who have stepped forward.
Wow. Just listen to that history. Like you said, Medgar Evers gave a sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice, which was his.
Right.
This college is now doing these wonderful things, and they've just reactivated an NAACP chapter, which means the young people understand the importance of the
Yes.
organization that is the foundation. And I always tell people, it's not about the tree, it's about the root, because without a root, there is no tree.
Tree.
So
Absolutely.
this foundation
Absolutely.
is what
Right.
they're interested in knowing more about. And they actually came out with President
Abs-
Ramsey. Wow, that's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. They were in Las Vegas.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
At the
amazing. I love it.
115th National Convention. They were
Wow.
a part of it. They
That's
were very active in the activities that went on for the youth and college chapter people.
wow.
Right.
I love it.
So it's exciting. And the more we reach out to this generation, the more we know that freedom will come,
That's right.
freedom will persist, because these young people will have reached out, and we passed the baton to them
Right.
to say, it's your time.
That's right. That's right.
You're not next year, but right now, you have the
That's right.
opportunity to change America. You have an opportunity to make America live up to her promise.
That's right.
You,
Absolutely.
right now. Right,
Absolutely. And that's
right.
why I'm bringing them along. I've decided, I'm committed. I've decided I'm going to get on some buses. We're going to go to these states and get on some planes and go to these states,
Absolutely.
similar to what we did with President Obama. They told us if win Ohio, we couldn't win. We got on planes and buses, and we
Absolutely.
showed up and we
Absolutely.
showed out,
Absolutely.
volunteering and
Right.
hitting the ground. And that's how it's done. show we tell them, but we show them first,
Absolutely.
and then they can see as we're telling them what to do. So that's why it's so important for them to be a part of the NAACP, to be a part of the National Urban League, for them to be
Absolutely.
even a part of their student government in college.
Absolutely.
These are the things
Absolutely.
that they need.
That's what they should do. Yeah. You start at home and then
That's
you
right.
spread abroad. Right. Right.
That's right.
And so we're looking forward to these young men and women whose doors have been opened. They have a chance to receive education,
Yes.
the kind of scholarships that the president have gone out and got for students to come to Mega Evers.
That's right.
You know, all this take hard work,
That's right.
and they are to show sacrifice that
Mhm.
people have given up their time
That's right.
to do this. And so you, let me tell you, Terry, you're absolutely right. You have always included and reached out to me to hear my thinking and my voice because I have lived it. I have been involved in it.
Yep.
And so when I speak from experience. I speak from wisdom. I speak for understanding the process. It's a long struggle. Nothing comes to us easy,
That's
but
right.
we must continue in the struggle.
That's right.
Because when we fight, we win.
That's right. And we join each other together collectively. There is no
Absolutely.
I in team. There is no I in team. And that's why I'm excited at this moment, because I see so many people coming together. But you're absolutely right. There was a foundation, there was a root to that. Shirley Chisholm's root is able to now be seen in our lifetime.
Yes.
That's super amazing.
John Lewis, who was beaten almost to death.
Yes.
Yeah, but he fought every day for voting rights.
That's right.
Right. And we got to get that bill. The late Sheila Jackson Lee, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, who just transitioned a few weeks ago, how she fought on the Judicial Committee
That's right.
to make the courts better for us to get fair chances. So we are a great people. We have a great course of ancestors watching over us, cheering us on now. And so let's run this race with pride,
That's
with
right.
dignity, and get it done. Let's make sure that Vice President Harris is not vice president, but
Well,
president
president. That's
of
right.
these United States of America. We can
Absolutely.
do it. We've done it before. Roadblocks going to be put up in our way. We know this. We know that people are going to bring out anything nasty that they can, but we're going to let them do that. As Michelle Obama say, when they go low, we go high.
Absolutely.
And they
Absolutely.
have nothing, no other tool but to go low.
hmm
They
That's
don't
right.
have any record to stand on.
That's right. And we do. And we have,
Absolutely.
we will. But I have to say, because you talked about the people that joined the ancestors, we got to talk about one of our ancestors, one of our greats in the NAACP that just joined the ancestors. This brother, up until the day, was at the conference. He was at the conference with you guys. He's a Mason. I'm an Eastern Star. And when we heard about his passing, our hearts broke in two. But I
Yes.
want you to talk a little bit more about your son. Because, I mean, again, I'm going to go back to mama. Mama raises us up right. And let me tell you, if you ain't doing right, she going to pull you.
Well,
So if you want to
Jeff,
do it, come to her.
Jeff Eden was a real soldier in this
Yes.
struggle. Not only as the chief of staff of Congressman Rangel, but
Yes.
his activity in his community. He
That's right.
loved his Harlem community. He worked diligently with young people. He kept his pus on the activities of his community and participated in it. And our heart is broken
That's right.
with the transition of Jeff Eden, a real soldier, a real warrior who
And his
spent his
legacy,
time.
his
Right,
legacy will continue because he put deep
absolutely.
roots in Harlem
It's
and
been, we've lost, tomorrow we will be celebrating the life of Michael Harding, who's been with
yes,
Reverend
right.
Sharpton for over 30 years.
Attorney. Oh
We
my God.
lost John Flatto,
Yep.
who was the go-getter to us for keeping us educated on the census and how we was to participate in that. So God has been good to us. He's brought them along, and we have other people who are stepping up into the plate and taking on these battles that we still have to confront.
And I want to add something, and the reason that they are able to step up to the plate, because these giants actually paved the way and gave them access. They gave them
Right.
access to the opportunities so that when they transitioned to the ancestry realm, they knew exactly what to do because they make
Absolutely.
sure they're included every single
When
person.
you look at our attorney general, she started with Al Van.
Oh, yes.
She
That's
started
right.
in Albany, right? You
That's
know, and so she know how to rumble and tumble. She know
that's right.
how she's like Vice President Harris.
That's
You
right.
know, she know the law.
That's right.
She's seen felonies. She's dealt with them.
That's right. That's right. And she handles herself well. And we
Uh,
keep
uh,
her in prayer and we
absolutely,
surround her and let everybody know that's
absolutely,
our attorney
absolutely.
general. That's
Absolutely,
our attorney.
absolutely. Because she's well prepared, she's performing, she is in the footstep of many of our great lawyers, Constant Baker Motley, all of these great women that has stood in the courtrooms and been at the Hill. That's what she's carrying on their legacy.
That's right. That's right. And it is truly an honor, Mama, to just sit back and go down history or backwards and then forward with you. Because like I said, you are a walking encyclopedia with all of the experience. And this is not something she read. This is what
No,
you
no,
lived. This is a
you're right.
lived experience.
I've
You
lived and
lived
participated.
and participated through all of these things. And when you start calling people like Helen Marshall and Shirley Chisholm and the Percy Sutton and David Dinkins, and we start talking about all of these greats that Al Van, Annette Robinson. We just had the 90th birthday for our congressman, always
Right,
Congressman Towns, right? So
right.
it's just amazing how much we have done in our life and how much more that will be done
And it
because we
have to be
have that
done. And then
opportunity.
we
It
have to
must be done.
continue. Right, right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
And you are doing it. And you're doing it, Terry. As I
thank you.
said, I watch you grow into the field, as you said, when you came into the DA office, and from that to Washington, to Senator's office, to the White House with the President Obama, and you never forgot to reach back to your communities.
Because that's our job, Mama. You taught me. You
Right. Well,
taught
but
me
you never,
well.
some
We got
people forget, but you have always stayed in contact with your communities.
yes,
Always.
absolutely. Because it is. I want to die empty.
Right.
Because everything that God has poured into me, I want to be able to pour it into
And you
others.
have done that, and I
And then
appreciate that.
thank
On
you.
behalf of our communities, I want to thank you for all that you have done and all that you are doing and all that you will continue to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. And so, Mama, I want you to leave us with some final thoughts. I mean, it's funny how time flies when we're having fun, especially when
Right.
we're talking about history, our history. It's amazing to me when I bring young people along and I say, no, you have a history. You have an obligation to carry
Absolutely.
yourself upright, to hold your chest out, to walk into any of these rooms, to sit at any of these tables, because the folks that came before you empowered you to do so. And so here I am encouraging you, right? And so
Right. Right.
I want you to leave us with what you believe we should still be doing, because we still have to work to get to this point. We got about 80, I think about 88 days now, a little
Right.
more over
What
88
we got,
days.
what we must do, we must make sure that everyone in our household, everyone in our neighborhood is encouraged to go out and vote. Talk
Okay.
to them daily. Talk to them daily on the issues that confront them, their lives, the
Okay.
Medicaid, Medicare. Talk to them about food prices, how they are going up. Talk to them about health care. that they should be able to afford health care, not miss a meal, to buy a prescription. Tell them the things they ought to be able to have affordable housing. Tell them about the things
That's right.
that they need, and to
That's
participate in this democratic process.
that's right.
That's how you get it. As you
That's,
said earlier, if you're not participating, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
that's
Well,
right.
other people are deciding what kind of life you should have. You need to help decide that for yourself. We can't change everything, but we can participate and make sure that our voices are heard, that people
Absolutely.
understand we are human beings. We have paid our dues in this country, and we demand the respect. We demand, we're not asking, we're not begging. We're saying we are Americans. We are proud too. And
That's
we
right.
have given so much,
That's right. Absolutely. So meeting people where they are, helping
meeting
them to
people where they
understand
are.
the
Right,
essential
right,
services that they depend on
right,
every
right.
day will be
Every
impacted,
day, every day.
by this process, this
Right.
democratic process.
And make
Especially,
sure that on election day you make yourself a committee of one to make sure that everybody in your household, which is 18 years of age, get to the polling place. Make sure that your seniors know how to use absentee ballots. All of us can do something
that's right. And you know,
to
you're taking
ensure.
me back to grassroots now, Mama. You're taking me back to grassroots.
Absolutely.
When I started in politics years ago, I started over in Williamsburg, Brooklyn with Vito Lopez. And one of the things they did was took people to the polls. They
Absolutely.
didn't depend on you to get there on your own. They made
No.
sure you got there and they made
Right.
sure you got back safely. Now that's a grassroots, a
Absolutely.
thing that we
Absolutely.
should definitely. I mean, I'm
we
taking notes.
gotta we gotta on Sundays for early voting, when we get through praying and singing, we should get our souls to the polls.
Souls to the poll. I love it. Souls to the poll. I'm using that one, Mom. I'm using that one.
That's right.
Souls to the poll. So on the
Yes.
Sunday on early voting, making sure we getting our souls to the poll
Our
and
polls, right.
encouraging everybody. You got to take somebody with you. You just don't get to the polls. And I remember
Absolutely.
an opportunity we had when I was volunteering on the Obama campaign, and they went out to Ohio, and they were sending me to a neighborhood that didn't quite look like us. And I said, "Do you see me? I need to go where we are." And we were going to the places that we would refer to here as housing complexes. We were going to those places and making sure people got to the polls. And it was
That's right.
key. And you're just reminding me that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. The
No.
blueprint is already there. Souls to
Absolutely.
the polls is the key. Not just having people say, "I'm going to get there," and committing to get
No,
there,
no,
but
no.
physically getting them there.
Yes, yes. Like
Wow.
they did in Georgia on that Sunday. They had a rally, and the ministers came together from every denomination, and
Wow.
they went to the polls with their congregations. They
Yes.
had their vans. They had their vans. They had their cars, and they made sure they had uh, food at the church, so
Yes.
nobody had to go home. All
That's
you
right.
had to do was get your soul to the poll, and
That's
then you
right.
went home. Right,
Imagine that. And that's it, Mama. That's the key right there. And that's
right.
something that I'm definitely gonna push. I'm gonna put it out on my
Well,
social
that's what we're trying to
media.
work with now.
Yes.
And on uh, I believe Monday night,
Mhm.
under the leadership of Bishop Daughtry and some the other ministers, they had over 20,000 churches
Whoa.
on a
Yes.
webinar.
Wow.
Black churches,
Wow. Nice. Nice.
get your soul to the polls.
Just sold to the pole. I'm
That-
definitely I'm gonna join that movement because that
right,
is key. Getting those souls to the polls is the key. And I want to
right.
thank you so much for sharing that on the Coaxum Report. For all of you that are listening, whether you're living in New York, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands, wherever you are, we're encouraging you to get your souls to the polls. Mom already
Amen.
said it. You make sure you go, if you're going to church, you go, you worship, and everybody be responsible for taking somebody else to the polls so that we can receive victory. We are
Absolutely.
going for victory. We will not stop. We have, like Mama said, we've earned every single thing that we've got. Nobody's given us anything. We've earned it, and now it's our opportunity to show up, show out, and make sure that our voice is going to be heard, because these essential services will be impacted. Our health care,
Absolutely.
our education, our transportation and infrastructure, everything is impacted by what's going on right now. We need to make sure that we are at the table and not on the menu. So, Mom, we're going to close out the show right now. I just want you to give me a final thought. For those of you that are just listening in, you are here. I'm sitting at the feet of the oracle. I've gotten so much great information from a prominent civil rights leader, forever president of the NAACP, an activist, a mom, just doing it all. I just am so honored to have you on the show today. We talked about voting rights and representation. We talk about social justice and equity, educational opportunities, health opportunities, community development, crucial role. We have a crucial role, and it's election time. And Mama Dukes they have these webinars going on. They have trainings going on. They actually were able to handicap the 2025 plan. Over 1,000 NAACP members were on the phone where they talked about this 2025 plan and how it's impacting us now and how it will impact us later on, so that we are empowered with the knowledge, skills, and ability to make sure that this doesn't happen, not just in our lifetime, but ever happen. And so I
Right.
want to thank Mama for doing that for us. She also talked about politics is policy, and policy impacts you every single day. She talked about the pillars in which we show the shoulders and giants that we stand on. Shirley Chisholm, Percy Sutton, Helen Marshall. She even went back and talked about Geraldine Ferrara. I mean, I haven't heard that name in so long. But then we talked about our giants that we just lost. We talked about Jean Plateau. We talked about Jeffrey Eaton. We talked about Michael Hardy. We talk about all of these giants that actually were not just in the movement, but they left a blueprint for us to follow. And her sister from another mister, Dr. Marcel Maxwell, another giant in the movement, making sure that we understand that it is our obligation for us to move us forward. We're not sitting around waiting on somebody to come in on a white horse and
No.
say us. It's our obligation to make
Right.
sure we're
It's
doing
our
that.
duty and responsibility.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
so now, Mama, I'm going to let you leave us with a final thought on our duties and responsibilities, or anything
Well,
else that you want to share.
well, let me again say thank you. And to all the listeners that's here, I hope that I've shared some thoughts with you that make you think, make you energize, and that you will say, I'm going to take my baton and I'm going to march with my fellow citizens, my fellow neighbors, my fellow church members, and we do it together, because in unity there is strength. And so let's get it together. We've done it before. We'll do it again.
Yes, absolutely. We've done it before. We'll do it again. We're going to leave you with that. Get your souls to the polls. Understand it's your duty, your responsibility to do what you need to do in your lifetime to make sure we're moving our people forward. And Mama said, make sure you're meeting people where they at. Help them understand how policy impacts every single thing that they come in contact with, from their education to their healthcare, for their food. Mama even said the food and housing. Make sure everything, they know everything is impacted by our politics and our policy. And that's why it's important for them to be involved. Mama, again, it was such an honor to
Thank
have
you so
you on
much for having me.
today. And I look
Okay, look
forward
forward
to
to
being
seeing
out
you
there in
soon.
the movement, and you let
Right.
me do whatever I need to do to move
See
us
you
forward.
soon.
Take care. Be
Okay,
blessed.
love you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Love you too.